Yo, what's going on YouTube? GZTV, the mic is working well. We're back here with another video, and I have to leave for the dentist in about 22 minutes, but I figured I'd get a Walking Dead video in, and then when I get back, we'll do the Enemy of the State stuff. I gotta watch Dexter. I'm gonna keep watching Breaking Bad. I'm gonna get back into it to catch up with the Better Call Saul storyline. But yeah, we have the 7th episode of season 6. We're getting close to the halfway point of the season, which is dope because I already know that episode 8 is going to be fantastic. But yeah, we got the plot, we got the critical reception. You guys know exactly how these videos go, so let's get into it. After being knocked off the garbage dumpster by Nicholas's corpse, Glenn crawls under the dumpster to evade the walkers that have surrounded it. So finally, there was like an elephant in the room for such a long time with this series, and it's what happened with Glenn. Time passes and the walkers disperse, and Glenn is found by Enid. So obviously, we knew that Enid was like missing from Alexandria, so a couple questions are answered here. Glenn and Enid are alive, so that's nice. In a nearby store, Enid explains that she had fled Alexandria when the wolves attacked it, and before Glenn can learn more, she runs off. He tries to ask more questions, like, is his wife okay? And she just runs away, because she's probably not sure if his wife's okay. And frankly, who knows if Enid even gives a fuck, because she has a very, like, I don't give a fuck personality. She's come from a pretty traumatic childhood, family, whatever. In Alexandria, Morgan is forced to tell Rick, Michonne, and Carol that he had let the wolves that they had captured escape. So he was like, so obviously Rick was in the RV and all the wolves attacked, and he's like wondering like how the hell did these people get out of here? He thought they were invading Alexandria and that he'd be in the clear. And Morgan said he freed those people and they came after Rick. So obviously Morgan feels kind of guilty now because he almost got Rick killed in that situation. Morgan justifies his actions by reminding Rick that he had previously spared Morgan's life, and that while he had wanted to kill the wolves before, he believes people can change. He learned this about Eastman. You guys, we saw that episode kind of like showing what happened to Morgan before he met the people of Alexandria. Rosita gives knife lessons to a group including Eugene, while elsewhere Carl provides handgun lessons to Ron, but refuses to allow Ron to use live ammunition. So he's pretty much like bitching him. He's bitching Ron. Like they have like this competition to see who's gonna win Enid over. So it's kind of like this dynamic between these two that has started to develop because of Enid. Obviously, that's like a teenager thing. That's like normal. Ron sneaks into the armory to obtain cartridges for the gun. So he wants to load the gun. He wants to actually practice. I was inferring at this time that maybe he wanted to hurt Carl because Carl is like kind of pissed him off in a lot of situations. So I was thinking, oh shit, this might mean that Carl might die. Ron might kill Carl. That's a prediction I might still have going into the halfway point of the season. Glenn discovers the body of David in his note to Betsy and decides to chase after Enid to try to find her, and he picks the note up. Yeah. He catches up to her in a restaurant, and despite her holding a gun to him, Glenn manages to convince Enid to accompany him back to Alexandria. So they travel together. They're going back to the town. En route, they find some balloons that they can use to distract the walkers to keep the way clear. Also, they need a signal, and that's what they're going to use as the signal as the episode closes. It's a pretty chaotic cliffhanger closing this thing out. Rick assesses the damage from the wolves' attack and finds a section of wall where blood is dribbling from, and starts working to reinforce it, aware his hammering is luring more walkers to the walls. So it's kind of like a trade-off. Like, yeah, we're building stronger walls, but more walkers are piling on. So what the fuck is the point? We're kind of making no progress here. Tobin joins Rick to help with the repairs, admitting to Rick that their group brought many changes to Alexandria, but the remainder of them are adapting and thankful for their help. So the people that died were just too weak to kind of handle anything, but the people that survived, they realized like how important Rick has been to the group. Spencer does something really stupid in this episode. He almost dies from it. Spencer attempts to climb over the Alexandria walls to lead some of the walkers away, but ends up falling. He had like this zip line thing with like a grappling hook like set up to try to like tightrope his way with his hands across the walkers, but he falls down. Tara helps to dispatch walkers while Rick, Tobin, and Morgan pull Spencer back inside Alexandria. Spencer nearly dies. He's kind of gone off the deep end. He's kind of gone insane in a way. Spencer explains his actions as trying to follow what Rick had wanted to do earlier, but had excluded any of the Alexandrians from helping. So, yeah. It was pretty stupid. You can't really explain yourself. Later, Morgan discreetly meets with Denise, acting as Alexandra's doctor. We know that. And tells her he needs her help to treat somebody injured. We're not really sure who that is. But Morgan leads Denise to the lone wolf he had secured in one townhouse, which is like the leader of the group. I don't know why the hell Morgan is trying to save the leader of this fucking group. He's the most dangerous guy that is possibly facing them right now. But his actions are witnessed by Carol, who follows him inside and demands to see who he has captured. He's like, who the hell is in there? Because Carol is going to do something about it. She's probably going to kill this guy. In the distance, the townspeople spot balloons rising above the walls, and Maggie realizes it is a sign from Glenn. Glenn is okay. All is right with the world right now. Just then, the old church tower, which had been deteriorating for a long time. There's kind of been some like foreshadowing throughout the show of the wood kind of crumbling down. It topples onto the wall segment that Rick and Tobin were trying to reinforce, destroying it. Oh man, what a twist at the end. Oh man, things are gonna get good for this show. Mixed reviews. I am kind of mixed. I mean, 52%, 7.2 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. With Heads Up, The Walking Dead offers the resolution to a major cliffhanger, but with frustrating results. 7 out of 10 on IGN. The best parts of Heads Up were definitely the beginning, which finally cleared up the whole Glenn debate debacle, and the very end when the building came crashing down, breaking the town's big barrier. Everything else was just there to lead us up to bigger things, bigger developments, better stories. This one contained a lot of recycled themes, including Rick still considering everyone outside of his group, with Deanna as the exception and Gabriel as the reverse exception, as the equivalent of red shirts on Star Trek. Gotta be on the AV Club. Heads Sick Up opens and closes with a bang, the former metaphorical, the latter implied. In between these two dramatic explosions, there's a lot of talking. So, yeah. Glenn is alive, and The Walking Dead will never be the same. It would rather kill off a main character than pull a lame switcheroo until now. So, people are kind of complaining about the plot convenience. I don't have a whole lot to say. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna go up and watch Dexter. I know I should have more closely looked at this, talked about this episode, but there really isn't a lot of things to say. I mean, the reviews say it the best they could. Really, the beginning and the end are the only two big moments in this